Leuk dat je kijkt naar deze nieuwe video. Mijn naam is Eva en ik ben vanmorgen lekker bezig met mijn groene smoothie weer. Dus dat is eventjes geleden. Maar ik had er zo'n zin in. En ik ga zo eerst even werken. Ik ga zo werken. En ik ga daarna lekker naar de vegan Juck Food Bar. Yay! Ik heb er echt zin in. Ik weet nog niet hoe mijn buik erop gaat reageren. Dus vandaar dat ik nu alvast bezig ben met extra groene smoothie en dat soort zaken. Gewoon om te kijken of ik de boel al van tevoren een beetje liefdevol kan sussen. Maar goed, soms moet je gewoon even nieuwe dingen testen en gewoon genieten. Ik heb er zin in. Dat was het deal. Oké jongens, het ziet er super uit. Maar hoe ga je dit op deze samen eten? Lekker hot. De planning is eigenlijk om te kijken of 2 dagen in één kan voegen. In 1 video bedoel ik dan. Dus nu pas bedacht, dat is niet helemaal handig. Maar we gaan zien of dat gaat lukken. Gisteren was in elk geval ontzettend lekker. Ontzettend leuk. En ik vind het echt een aanrader. Wat ik heb begrepen is deze jongen zelf nog niet eens zo heel lang vegan. En die heeft dat meteen koe bij de horens gevat toen hij merkte dat er helemaal niks zoiets was in Amsterdam. Überhaupt zoiets in Nederland. Je hebt wel de vegetarische snackbar in Den Haag, maar verder niks. Dus ik vind het wel echt ontzettend leuk en ontzettend cool dat iemand dat doet. Volgens mij doen ze het thuis met z'n tweeën. Maar het was helaas te druk om de man zelf eventjes te interviewen. Hopelijk voel ik dat de volgende keer. In ieder geval, groene smoothie waar ik natuurlijk al lang aan begonnen ben. Voor nu in elk geval. En daar ga ik hier verder van genieten. En ik ben bezig om te kijken of ik nog een kaartje kan krijgen voor de What the Health voor vanavond. Daar blijken toch meerdere mensen heen te gaan die ik ken. En ik wil er zo ontzettend graag heen. Maar ik dacht, ja, ga ik er in mijn eentje zitten. Een beetje wutsen. Eigenlijk moet je dat gewoon niet doen. Eigenlijk moet je gewoon zeggen, ik wil het zien. Dus ik ga. Punt. Dus dat. Ja. Dus ik ben daarmee bezig. En ik ga jullie laten zien of dat inderdaad gaat lukken of niet. Oh yes, het is gelukt. Yes. Yes, yes. Ik heb een kaartje gescoord en ik ben er echt waanzinnig blij mee. Dus dan ga ik straks naar het ketelhuis en dan ga ik kijken naar What the Health. En er zit ook dus nog een Q&A aan vast met Kip. En hij is de director en hij is de initiatiefnemer en al dat soort zaken. Dus ik ben heel benieuwd. Ik heb er echt waanzinnig veel zin in. En ja. Laten we meeten met meneer Kip Anderson, als ik het goed zeg. Yes! Welkom, dit is de gasfabriek. Eerst even een hapje eten. Even op jacht naar degene die ik zoek. We zijn het allemaal lekker eens. De dames gingen voor de burger. Ja. En wij gingen voor soepie.
What in particular is the correlation with the diet and diabetes?
I'm not going to get into that.
Into diet?
No.
I followed all the large health organizations' recommendations for preventing disease. I exercise regularly, don't smoke, don't drink soda, get enough sleep, reduce stress, and grew up eating what I thought was a healthy diet. Until
World Health Organization this morning has classified processed meat such as bacon and sausage as carcinogenic, directly involved in causing cancer in humans.
the World Health Organization had looked at over 800 studies from 10 different countries, finding a direct link to consuming processed meat and cancer. Just one serving of deli meats daily increases your risks of colorectal cancer by 18%.
There's no way we can sustain the current style of care with the epidemic that we're creating with our diet and lifestyle choices.
The diabetes, the arthritis, the heart disease, the dementia, the obesity, the cancers are affecting about 70% of deaths. All the data is that those 70% of deaths and morbidity are largely lifestyle related and preventable.
Most kids by age 10 in the US already have fatty streaks in their arteries, the first stage of atherosclerosis leading to heart attacks, strokes.
Here in American medicine, we operate from the disease model. We are in the business of treating sick people. We are not in the business of trying to prevent people from becoming sick.
If I could deliver one message to the researchers who are looking for the cause, the answer's in 3 words. It's the food. It's what Americans are eating.
And while there, she did some blood work, C-reactive protein, and on a scale there was a scale of 1 to 3, 1 being low for cardiac event, 3 being high for cardiac event, and my number was 10.82.
What does that mean?
That means I am on the road for a heart attack, and she said probably within the next 30 days.
When we speak of heart disease, I would say the role of alcohol is pretty small. The role of sugar is very small too. Smoking is big, but the good news is that most people have quit or never did smoke. The problem with animal-based diet, its contribution to heart disease is huge and it is pervasive.
All this expensive imaging, procedures, bypasses, medication, none of which has one solitary single thing to do with the causation of the illness.
When we eat these kind of dead meat bacteria toxins, within minutes, you get this burst of inflammation within your system such that you basically paralyze your arteries. You get the stiffening of the arteries, their inability to relax normally in half. So it's not like decades down the road eating unhealthy, there'll be some damage. No, we're talking damage right then and there within minutes of it going into our mouth.
America of cholesterol is chicken because of the volume of chicken. It has nearly as much cholesterol per gram as red beef. So just on sheer volume, it's the #1 source. Yeah, eggs being close by.
I never really thought about eggs much. I just thought of them as a standard part of a healthy diet. But then I found a study suggesting that eating just 1 egg a day can be as bad as smoking 5 cigarettes per day for life expectancy.
The yolk of a hen's egg is the most concentrated glom of saturated fat and cholesterol. It is made to run a baby chicken for 21 days with no outside energy. It is pure fat and cholesterol.
But I thought cholesterol and saturated fat wasn't an issue anymore.
You know, these saturated fat studies that have come out trying to vindicate saturated fat, this is a campaign by the dairy industry, right? #1 source of saturated fat is dairy, it's not meat. 2008, the global dairy industry got together in a meeting and explicitly agreed their agenda was to neutralize the negative impact of milk fat by regulators and medical professions, unquote. So they do, they funded studies.
The main study that started the whole saturated fat media craze was funded by the National Dairy Council. The egg industry similarly funds studies that confuse consumers by making claims that eggs don't negatively affect heart function. That is, only when compared to eating a McDonald's sausage McMuffin? Human breast milk has 2.7 grams of casein per liter, compared to 26 grams per liter for cow's milk. That's practically 10 times more. No wonder it's so addictive. All the drugs animals are fed. I went to the headquarters of the Center for Food and Safety, the nation's leading FDA government watchdog group, to see how concerned we need to be about drugs in our food.
So that we know of, there are at least 450 different drugs that are administered to animals, either alone or in combination.
The pharmaceutical company is supposed to show the safety of animal drugs. They're not really testing to see what the impacts of these drugs are on humans.
And then it all came together. What if? And there it was. The American Diabetes Association was taking money from Dannon, one of the world's largest dairy yogurt producers, Kraft Foods, makers of Velveeta processed cheese, Oscar Mayer processed meats, Lunchables processed kids meals, and Bumblebee Foods, makers of processed canned meats. American Cancer Society was taking money from Tyson, one of the world's largest meat producers, and Yum Brand, owner of Pizza Hut, KFC, and Taco Bell. Susan G. Komen was supposed to be fighting breast cancer, was corporate partnering with KFC, Dietz Watson Processed Meats, and Yoplait Yogurt. And the American Heart Association was probably the most disturbing of all, taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from the beef industry, poultry, and dairy producers, and millions from fast food and processed food manufacturers. Every single one of these organizations was taking money from meat and dairy companies that are associated with the causes of these diseases. This would be like the American Lung Association taking money from the tobacco industry.
Listening activists that go against them. And I think it's quite telling that these industries are working so hard and spending so much money to criminalize people.
When you're treating diseases with drugs, you know, there's one drug you take for cholesterol, a different class of drugs you take for high blood pressure, different class of drugs you take for diabetes. But with diet, a plant-based diet affects all these diseases. One diet to kind of rule them all.
You may not get diabetes, but your chances of getting diabetes, about 1 in 3. You may not get cancer, but your chances, if you're a man, about 1 in 2. A woman, 1 in 3. Your chances of gaining weight, 2 out of 3. It's not all diet, but most of it is. The best thing that you can do to make sure that you empty all those bullets out of the chamber and you're not taking risks with your health is to get the animal products out of your diet and eat healthy foods.
And more recently I got into Ninja Warrior, where I'm captain of Team Europe as we won USA versus the world. So something like Ninja Warrior and parkour specifically, you really need to have a good strength to body weight ratio. So I was carrying mass that I really didn't need. And when I went vegan, you know, I lost 15, 20 pounds. I was more agile, I was more efficient, more stamina in my body. Just that extra bit of pop that I didn't have before, it just gave me that extra strength. So this is a very vibrant way to live. It can enhance you as an athlete. For me, 100% better athlete than I was before. So it unlocked a whole new chapter of my training. The science is there, the health is there, the athletes are there proving that you don't need to eat dead animals to be strong, to be healthy.
I started working out when I was 47 years old. All the muscles you see, I gained as vegan. I gained 15 pounds of muscles on my body, eating all plant-based vegan foods. All the aches and pains in my body just went away because I'm not ingesting so many inflaming foods, the acidic foods that animal products are. Gorillas, rhinos, and elephants, they all get their muscles and strength from eating plants. That's what I do.
Are you in danger yourself by making this documentary?
I'd like to think not. It's a little scary, definitely. There's interesting things happening lately after making this film, actually. But it's one of those things, if you've seen Cowspiracy, I really went through it already, that process where you have to go make a decision. And when you realize something is just a lot bigger than any of us individually, that the fear of not doing something is greater than the fear of doing something. And the big thing too, especially in the US, you have the ag law. You know, Keegan and I, we make these films as tools, you know, it's like making a tool, like a screwdriver or something, but it's up to everybody to actually make things of it. So the people who really put themselves at risk is the people in the US who, they would show, say, Cowspiracy in this film in Utah, in Idaho, in the Midwest, and where that could be considered, you know, could be thrown in jail, you know, under some terrorist act law. So it's definitely a community movement that we're just one part of, and we like to think that if anything, the film protects us, because the last thing that they want to do is say sue us or anything happen to us, because then the next thing you know, just, you know, the movie, the film is just huge beyond other things going on. This took about 2 years, but we were 90% done with the film, this film, a year ago. And that last 10% took about a year, because we keep on trying to contact these organizations. And we felt, you know, we really need to have more organizations in this film. And finally realized that one interview would be every single interview. It would be the exact same thing. And there's so much information, as you see in this film, that looking back and putting the case studies, what we did instead is replace those interviews with the case studies that you see of these radical transformations that only happened in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. So at the end of the day, we said, you know, it's okay. Them not speaking speaks volumes. We would rather have people to show their real stories, because you can hear it all day long. But when you visit this True North Health Center, an hour north of San Francisco, this is not some weird case of 3 people, 4 people we talked to. You travel there tomorrow. Anytime anyone visits San Francisco, go an hour north and say you want to talk to some people of True North, and you have 100 people with the exact same stories. It is so unbelievable how powerful, and way more than we thought. And you know, people who are literally dying for 10 years and told they're going to die, told they're going to be on medication, and within weeks, their entire life just opens up and you can see it in the eyes. So it's so powerful. So at the end of the day, we're actually happy that we didn't get any more, because it would have been more, you know, like cowspiracy. This is more about inspiration. We want to be a little more inspiring with this film.
Kijk, ik vond het ontzettend leuk. Ik zou er zeker naar kijken. En ik heb zoveel mogelijk van de footage erin gelaten, zo min mogelijk geknipt. Dus vandaar dat het iets langer is geworden, deze video. Maar goed, heb jij vragen, opmerkingen, andere dingen, laat het die weer beneden achter. En hopelijk zie ik je in de volgende video. Hi!